Hello everybody, my name is The Geekimus, and welcome to my channel. Here at Geekimus HQ, we like to review anime, gaming, card games, and every so often a little bit of sci-fi and horror movies. So I hope you guys will be willing to join me on this journey. But today, we're not talking about any of that. Today we'll be talking about Shonen Jump's We Never Learn. Toshi Setsu started writing this series in February 2017 and concluded the series in 2020, having officially 21 volumes at this current time, and being one of my favorite personal harem animes, and honestly a very good manga series to boot. Honestly, a really good series. In 2019, Silver Studio and Arvo Animation came together to make the anime project of Season 1, and the following year in 2020, Season 2 came out, and that is the main crux of this video. How did Season 2's finale eventually ruin the rest of the series, and honestly just shoehorn in a very bad anime-only ending? But to get there, we first need to address, what is We Never Learn? For all our people who don't know, what the hell is We Never Learn? What's the story? And how does the Season 2 anime-only ending ruin the eventual ending the manga gloriously got? The series opens up introducing us to Nariyuki Yugia, the main character essentially. He is basically the poorest human being in the existence, or at least that's how the series sets it up. We are introduced to him and we find out that he is so poor that he actually gets excited when they go up to a mountain camp and finds a certain kind of weed because it could be very good to add to his family's soup. Yes, he's the kind of person who would do a lot for $1. But the main reason why he is so good about studying is because he needs to get a good job to help his family after his father passed away before the series began. And that is why he's working hard to get the school's very important VIP recommendation that he needs to get into college for free. This is where our story has its inciting incident. One day after school, Yugia is called down to the principal's office. He starts talking to him about his school records and his discipline, and he likes him, and he's willing to give him the VIP recommendation. But seeing that this is Chapter 1, Volume 1, you can very well tell this is not going to go how you think it will. Very quickly, he is informed that he can have the VIP recommendation on one condition. He has to help 2 students get into their dream school. But who are these 2 students? Agata Rizu is our first girl, the super genius in math and science. Like, terrifyingly so. There is an entire formula on a board, like it's taken up the whole board, and she just mental maths it, completely solves it with a glance. Terrifying. And of course, she doesn't want to go to school for math or science. She wants to go in for literature arts. Yeah, no figure. Man, I wonder if this is going to be a running theme. And girl number 2 is Furuhashi Fumino. And yes, I know I probably said that wrong, but she is the super literature girl of the school. She can write a poem in mere seconds, can send their literature teacher into full tear mode. Like, this man, he needs a new life. But, of course, she does not want to go to be a poet or literaturist. She wants to sit down and be a astronomer. Oh, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. And if you're not too shocked, yes, both of these girls are the super geniuses of their school, but they do not want to go for what they're good at. And as you can see, this almost sends Yugia into a near panic mode. But of course, first few chapters deals with him just helping the girls out and getting them more comfortable with the idea that he's going to help them. Mostly because he needs it to get into school, but also because he wants to help. A few chapters later, or one episode if you're anime only, they introduce girl number 3. The principal asks Yugia, hey, take on one more girl. Hey, you're friends with her, right? And we're introduced to Takamoto Araka. And honestly, hashtag best girl. She is the basically #1 swimmer in their entire school and is slated to eventually end up in the Olympics. And her school only needs athletics, or it used to. The school now she wants to go to now is saying that she has to have smarts and sports. And I could say we could need that for some college football players, but that's a separate topic. Eventually, she is super excited because we do find out Araka has a secret crush on Nariyuki. And of course, this is eventually going to spur into the three-way battle between the three girls to slightly eventually get to each other. After a few more volumes of the three girls on and off having romantic experiences with Yuya, and him being dense and not realizing it, we eventually add another rival to the pile, Kurizu Mafua, who is their teacher who originally told the two super geniuses to just go to school what they're good for and give up on their dreams. And we find out that's because she gave up on her dreams as well. She was originally a ice skater who was super talented, and we find out through future volumes that her teacher was Nariyuki's father. Small connection there that kind of puts her in favor. Of course, she's not best girl. Never best girl. But we also find out, despite her super strict appearance and her super professional looking demeanor, she's actually really a mess. And several times throughout both the manga and anime series, Yuki has to come over and essentially clean up her apartment and help her from just falling into pure disrepair. And of course, the fifth rival we're going to be adding onto the pile is Kaminami Asumi. She is a girl who graduated the school prior to the rest of our little group, and she's actually trying to go to be a doctor. And she's working at a maid cafe to help pay for her education. The reason being is her father does not want her to go to school to be a doctor because he runs his own personal clinic and doesn't want her to struggle. And of course, we find out through connections that her father was actually the doctor who gave Yuki's father his diagnosis. A very sad connection that we find out in volume 20. Very heartbreaking and very tragic. And of course, they eventually have to end up pretending to date to appease her father. And that leads to a lot of comedic issues where we find out that, oh, he's pretending, and it makes the other girls jealous. Of course, this is par for the course. This series is a not just love anime, but it is a comedy series. So obviously you have to take a lot of the more comedic moments with the love moments. That's just reality. Now, Season 1 and Season 2 actually very faithfully follow the manga's pathway. Everything is done very faithfully. Very little is actually cut, and the series itself is adapted very well. Voice acting, music, and may I just call out the excellent OP study from Season 1. Very well done. And this, of course, brings the question, why do I think Season 2's ending is trash? Not just trash, but it ruins the chance of us ever getting a Season 3. Well, let me explain that with a quick spoiler warning. You need to click off this video now if you want to finish this series unspoiled. I'm going to give everyone a spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. So Season 2, of course, has its final arc, which is the Giant School Festival arc. This is a crazy arc, but it's adapted very well. I have to give them credit. It's done extremely well. And of course, the big thing that ends out this arc is Nariyuki tripping and holding the hand of someone at the fire. Basically, the school legend is whoever you end this festival with holding a hand is who you're supposed to end up with. And of course, we eventually find out through the series that it was Araka who he got a hand from. And the rest of the series continues on from this point. This girl's still trying to work, flirt, and continue until the very end of the series. And the manga goes down this path point. Unfortunately, the anime decides to do its own thing and decides to make a wild curve turn. Not just hit the curve, go over the curve, flip over, hits several children while they're going across that border, and continues to drive. What they do is they try to speedrun the ending of the manga. And of course, the manga version of events goes the following. After all of the girls and Yuki get into schools they wanted to get into, we find out that the three girls find out about each other finally at the giant ski trip, which would have been a great manga ending scene or a great anime movie. I need to add that. And very quickly, the girls basically finally fight it out. Eventually, with Araka getting to have the chance to tell Yuki how she feels. We then get this amazing backstory, finding out that in middle school when Yuki's father died, Araka was the one who got him and his sister out of their slumps. And makes me say it yet again, hashtag best girl. At the very end, Yuki was going to tell her at graduation that he loved her too. But, hark, that's not what happens. At the last minute on graduation day, Araka gets a call from her school that she needs to be on a plane today and be going to America. And Yuki almost misses his chance. It's not until by the efforts of the other four girls that he's able to get to the airport in time to tell her how he feels. It's a heartbreaking event because you get to watch all four girls give up on Yuki and let him be happy. And when he gets to the airport and finally tells her how he feels, it's both comedic, because it's We Never Learn, but also so heart, like it just makes your heart jump. And of course, we then get the famous years later quote where Araka's coming back from her schooling and everybody's there. There's a great little comedic moment where the other four end up on Yuki and make her jealous. But then at the very end, we get this famous scene where the ring he made, he proposes to her with it. And that's how the series ends. Now our dear friend the anime decided to speedrun this. Let's cut out literally a third of the manga series. Let's do that. We don't need that nasty little thing called setup, plot, or building. No, we're gonna just run to the end. And unfortunately, they do it. They speedrun it and very much ruin the ending. Instead of this grand dramatic gesture where Naruyuki is running to get to the airport, instead of it's a very casual event. Araka's just there, and she gets her time to say goodbye to everybody, not just Yuki. There is no confession. There is no big grand sweeping feature. It just ends. Yuki and Araka do share a warm smile at each other, but it could just very much be, hey, we're old friends. And it's not an ending I enjoy. I really do think the anime sped ran it so quickly. But why? Why do that? Why not get a season 3? Why not maybe get a movie? Well, it's probably because the anime and manga got to end on the same exact day. Yes, the day of the debut of the season 2 finale was the same very day that the final chapter of We Never Learn came out. Makes sense why they would speedrun this at ending so they could line up like that. And I really wish they didn't. Because of this rushed thing, it led us to this horrible anime ending that I, to this day, still has a bad taste in the back of my mouth. Really, I do. Don't know why they did this at all, and it just confuses me. Like I said, there was enough content for a season 3, a movie, and a season 4 that could have covered the alternative ending volumes that came out, but as I can tell you, we didn't get that. Shonen Jump obviously is going as strong as ever. Hell, One Piece and Dragon Ball will keep Shonen Jump alive forever. And both of the production studios have themselves been working on more stuff, working on isekai-like anime, because we don't have enough of those. Joy. And of course, We Never Learn has been dead silent ever since the final alternative ending book came out. And it's probably going to be like that. I really doubt we're ever going to see a new season of the anime or any more content from We Never Learn. But that makes me think, wait a minute. An anime about studying with 5 potential girls, and the guy who's basically behind them wants to do nothing but studying? That's pretty dang suspicious if you ask me. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching my first video on this channel. If you guys have any video topics you'd like to have me do, please put it in the comment section down below. I can look at all of them. And if you guys have any suggestions how to improve my content, please let me know. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.